Welcome to The Explainer, where we dig into the source material to see what's really going on. Today, we're chasing a digital gold rush, a promise that you can turn $10,000 into $60,000. Sounds amazing, right? But let's see if there's actually any gold in the Mthar Hills. So, here it is, the big claim from a podcast all about making money with mobile apps. A 600% return, and they even use the word guarantee. I mean, that sounds way too good to be true. So let's use their own words, their own numbers, and figure out what's really happening. So, what's the secret sauce here? Well, this whole thing is built on something called WebView apps. Now, just think of these as really, really basic apps. Their only job is to open up a web page. And in this business, that web page is usually an online casino. Okay, but before we even dream about those $60,000 profits, what's the price of admission? What does it actually cost just to get your foot in the door? Let's break down the cost for just one attempt to launch an app. According to the podcast hosts, there's a pretty clear three-step process. First, you need a design to make the app look good. Then you need a developer to actually build it. And finally, you need all the background stuff, the infrastructure, like developer accounts, domains, all that technical jazz. So you add up all those costs, the design, the developer, the accounts, and what do you get? Well, the speakers themselves say you're looking at around $1,200. And remember, that is for one single try to get your app published. All right, so $1,200 and you're in the game, right? Well, not so fast, because getting your app past the big gatekeepers, Apple and Google, that's the real trick. And here it is, the reality check, straight from them. They say a beginner should count themselves lucky. Lucky if just 1 out of every 5 apps they submit actually gets approved and makes it onto the App Store. So let's do the math on that, right? If it takes 5 attempts to get one success, and each attempt costs you $1,200, well, your actual cost to get just one app live isn't $1,200. It's really more like $6,000. Okay, so you've dropped $6,000, you've gone through all the trouble, and your app is finally live. Whew! Now for the hard part. How do you earn that money back? Well, according to the hosts, you've got 4 options. So here are the 4 paths they lay out. The easiest thing you can do is just a quick flip. Sell the app to someone else. The hardest? Running your own massive, expensive ad campaigns. But that $60,000 payday we keep hearing about, that comes from option number 3, something called organic traffic. But here's the thing about this organic traffic. It's not exactly organic. They explain that to get it, you have to spend even more money on what they call motivated traffic. Basically, you're paying for installs to game the App Store's search rankings, and that's going to cost you another $2,000 to $4,000. So let's add this all up. We've got the $6,000 to get the app live, plus, let's say, another $4,000 for that motivated traffic. And there it is. We're at a $10,000 total investment, just for one shot at that big prize. That's the real number from that opening quote. But with that $10,000 bet comes a massive hidden risk. I mean, after all this work, all this money, what's actually guaranteed here? This is where the story takes a really interesting turn. First thing you need to know, the hosts admitted themselves that perfect scenario where you launch, you buy traffic, nobody's competing with you, Apple doesn't give you any trouble. They say it's a fantasy. It, and I quote, basically never happens. And right here, this is the one real guarantee in this whole business. It's not the 600% return. According to them, the only thing that is 100% certain is that your app will eventually be found and it will be banned from the store. So what does that really mean? It means the entire business model is just a race against time. The goal is to get as many users as you can, make enough money to cover your $10,000 investment, and hopefully turn a profit before the hammer comes down and your app gets deleted forever. All of this raises a pretty big question. If this whole thing is so risky, so high stakes, and you're guaranteed to get banned, why are these guys on a podcast promoting it so hard? What's really in it for them? Well, what do you know? As they mentioned throughout the podcast, the hosts actually own the companies that sell all the things you need to chase this dream. They sell the motivated traffic. They run a platform for renting and selling these apps. And of course, they have a paid community for everybody in this business. See what's happening? They aren't just out there digging for gold themselves. They're in the much safer business of selling the shovels.
They make money on every single attempt you make, whether you succeed or, more likely, fail. Every time someone buys traffic, rents an app, or joins their community, they get paid.
And that leaves us with a final, really crucial question. In any gold rush, you always have to stop and ask yourself, who's the one really getting rich here? The person digging in the mud or the one selling them the shovel?